What a day. You look lonely. I can fix that. Not even that hard, just picture.
Hey, I got a Glock in my Rari. I 17.
I know it's real.
I got a Glock in my Rari. 17 shots, no 38.
She's fine to wonder when she'll be
I know
on
it's
you want fast. Rewind the scene. More talking about the soda. Fast money, no slow bucks. No one can control us.
Just go, and I'll just
Yeah.
say stuff that's wildly inappropriate.
Sounds good. And we defer to Paul, and it's just N-word.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa! You're like,
I'm
no,
brave.
I'll throw some other slurs in to break it up.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not just the one. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a monster. I'm an equal opportunist. I was going to say rapist, racist. It's a mouthful. Those words.
You're an equal opportunist. I can't even say it. You're an equal opportunist rapist.
racist,
Yeah.
rapist,
It's
yeah.
just like any hole's a goal.
That's it. Yeah.
Dude, speaking of
Jesus.
Speaking of Jesus, yeah. Speaking of equal opportunity racists, Jesus, I'd fuck those hands. What?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd fuck him in his hand holes. That definitely.
Speaking of
Anyway.
speaking of any holes a goal, I just have to talk straight away about JD Vance, like fucking couches. Like it just,
Yeah.
it just has to be said.
Like he admitted that, right? Because I mean, I know the joke, but was that something he was just like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I fucked a couch.
I
Just
don't
looked
even know
sexy
where
and
it
all.
originated from. Like people just like it just is like a rumor. I think it's just like implied. Like the thing I was listening to some podcast ages ago. Was it? I think it was Lemon Party. Yeah, like one of the guys on that, like he did a whole bit where he talks about how when he was a teenager he used to fuck his couch.
Right, okay.
Like just like totally owned it sort of thing. He was just like, yeah, I used to fuck my couch. But then he was just like, but he was like, it escalated. So it was like, at first it was like, I was just like rubbing myself against the couch. But then it was like, I was getting a fucking banana peel and I was putting it in the crevice of the couch and I was putting lube in it. And I was just like, and it was like so
mate.
detailed, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Jesus.
To the point where it's like,
Christ.
you could never like pull that back and be like, yeah, that never happened. You're like, you knew details like
yeah.
you couldn't create.
There's a lot of details there. Do you know what I mean?
Like J.K.
That happened.
Rowling couldn't write that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking hell.
You've got to write what you know, and she knows trans hate, so she's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the through line throughout my entire book
It
series.
is like.
I
destroyed a
hate
bunch of
Jews, so I'll
children's
make them
lives.
the fucking bankers, you know what I mean? Like, just...
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. But yeah, I mean, JD Vance, he's Trump's pick, isn't he, for VP?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So the way they're like, when you vote, you're kind of voting for like the duo. So like his name would be on the card, so it would say Trump Vance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's not a strong pick so far, is he? Because he's just so easy
Well,
to
no.
attack. But it's like, it's not even just that. Like obviously the internet ran with that because it's hilarious. Like that's why we ran with
sure.
that. It is fucking brilliant. But realistically, that like if you did literally fuck a couch when you were a teenager, I don't actually think it really matters in the greater scheme of like, can you make political decisions as an adult? Because like, when your brain wasn't fully formed and you were a horny teenager, I'm sure, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
You know, it's like, yes, he without sin cast the first stone, you know what I mean? Like, I've had some fucking wanks in some like, ropey places, you know?
Yeah, like, yeah.
Or just...
I'm laughing because I know.
Or just
'cause, yeah,
quantity,
same.
just so you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you think like, wow, there's whole weekends that I just give up to it when I was a kid.
Yeah, same. Jesus, yeah. One Saturday was just broke. I just broke
You've
it.
just got to beat your record, haven't you? Beat it,
You
being
have.
the fucking perfect euphemism. Yeah.
That's it. Like 16 years old on a Saturday home alone. Do you know what else
Yeah,
he's going to do?
exactly.
Something productive. You've got to beat 9 in a
You're like,
row.
well, I've
Do you know
got
what I
to
mean?
see how many it takes until it bleeds. Do you know what I mean? Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not just that. So obviously that is a big fucking part of it. But like it's other stuff that he says now. Like he's saying stuff today that you could attack. You know what I mean? Like he's literally saying like he thinks that people without kids aren't important to society and maybe they shouldn't have a vote. And then it was like, I could understand as a childless man myself who doesn't want kids. Even I can kind of understand, not agree with it, but I can understand the point he was going for. I think he was trying to go for that. He's thinking like, well, you're not contributing to society. You don't care about the future of society, so why should you have a vote? Is the angle he was going for. I think if you were taking it like earnestly, that's what he's saying. But it was just like so obviously not well thought through, because obviously you just pissed off every woman on the planet who is incapable of having kids through no fault of their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And rightly fucking so. Like women going like, yeah, but I want kids, but I can't afford IVF, and you know what I mean? I'm barren essentially. Like, so you're telling us I'm not worthwhile as a human because of something that's completely out of my control. Are you insane?
Yeah, that is insane.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's stupid. I mean, it's supposed to be a democracy. Everyone has the right to vote. You know what I mean? Like, that's just stupid. Like, if you haven't spat a kid out, like, have you seen some of the people that spit kids out? They shouldn't vote. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing that's like ironic, is that, you know, you're saying like, oh well, his other point was he was leaning into people with kids, saying that maybe if you have a kid, then you should have like a full family's worth of votes. So say you have 3 kids, you should get 3 votes and your vote essentially, which is like,
right.
Because you're basically, well, I'm voting for the future of my children. But it's because they know they're probably going to lose. So they're desperate to be like, how can we change it so that like we get all of the votes? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But
so
it's
they get
just...
that families of all these people to vote for them. I mean, I think it's going to be another like crazy moment like it was when he lost last time.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like, oh, it's fixed, because he's a sore loser, and he's like Trump has said, you know, time and time again, I never lose. Do you know what I mean? And then people are saying, if you lose this election like last time, will you know, be amicable about it? He's like, well, we'll see. He's like, well, no, you lost.
Yeah.
He's like, stop the count. I'm winning right now. Stop the count. And then obviously look what happened. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of people argue against whether it happened or not, but like obviously there was the January 6th like insurrection where the people stormed the Capitol, and the big thing is obviously at that time, obviously Trump was president. Sorry, not at that time. Sorry, Trump. Yes, yeah. Was he technically?
I'm
president
sure
at
he
that point?
was.
Yeah, so he was just about to fucking lose. But basically, what it was like, they were rioting, and he spent 3 hours not telling them to not. Right, so like people always go, well, he told them to stop, and it was like after 3 hours when he knew what was going on, and people who were like literally his aides said he was just sitting like basically watching it unfold and not doing anything about it. So, and then there was that other guy who I don't know who it was. I think it must have been like some other senator or some shit like that, who was obviously on their side, was basically saying like, and he's pulled back these comments, but he said that at the time like, oh yeah, if we don't get in, we're ready to fight.
Yeah.
And then and it's like that. The problem with this, it's a bit like, you know, like when a paper has to print an apology, so they can put on the front page. They could literally put on the front page and go, oh, Paul's a nonce. And then you fucking sue them and go, of course I'm not a nonce. I'm not been accused of anything. Nothing's been proven or whatever. And then on page 12, like 3 weeks later, they post like a tiny little paragraph. So apologies, Paul isn't a nonce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but the damage is already done. And that's what's like. So there's this thing where he's literally at a speech with like thousands of people going like, if we don't get in, we're going to fight this. And it's like kind of like basically saying we'll take to the streets, and something to the effect of like, they don't know what's coming for them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then obviously like on a tiny like unseen thing, like not like, I imagine most of the people who are going to a Trump rally aren't on Twitter. Because like Trump got banned from Twitter for years and made his own platform, which was Truth Social or whatever.
Truth Social, yeah.
So it's just like, if you're like hardcore fucking Trump supporter, you're probably not even on Twitter. Some of them, you know what I mean. Some of them probably just not even. So then you think like you might have been to that thing and seen this on Truth Social, but then you never seen the apology or the retraction of that statement. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, man,
it's scary, isn't it?
I love how it's called Truth Social, and he'll just bend the truth to fit his narrative anyway. So it's just essentially the same thing as Twitter. It's just he's just in a huff because they kicked him off it. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, he's been pulled back, hasn't he? Because there's that like rumored list. Apparently, they're calling it the white list and all that, where basically someone posted this list of accounts that apparently can say what the fuck they like, so they can say the most horrible shit ever. And then that account apparently got deleted, which people are saying that lends more to it being real. I don't think that lends more to it being real, because I think, I'm not saying it isn't real, but I'm saying like I don't think them being banned is like they could just be a ban here. Like if that list was real or wasn't, they'd probably ban in both situations. You know what I mean? So if the list was real and they didn't want you to know it, they'd ban it. But if it was false information and you see you're like an unknown account and you've all of a sudden you've blown up a massive tweet with misinformation, I wouldn't be surprised if they ban someone for that. You know what I mean? Especially a nobody. And you know what I mean? Because like, even if it's misinformation, like you're trying to make them look bad, Twitter in particular. So it would make sense that Twitter would be like, well, you're trying to make us look bad on our platform. Of course we're going to ban you.
Yeah, well, that's it.
So it's like a double-edged sword. Like you can't tell if it's real or not.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to be like, oh.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, but I think that's the thing with all social media and everything, really. You just kind of tell what is and what isn't real. Because it's like you live in a vacuum. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll see a million posts about Kris Tyson. Is that the trans
Eva Kris Tyson? Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. I
so
mean,
they
like,
were
fair
originally
enough.
called Kris Tyson, and then obviously added Eva onto the front of it when they transitioned or whatever.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't care about trans people. That sounds wrong. Like, I don't have a problem with trans people. That's what I'm trying to say. But like, all I've seen recently is people attacking people by saying that Kris Tyson, you shouldn't dead name this person, but they're a nonce. You know what I mean? Like, why do we care? Does anyone care more about that person's pronouns?
It's weird because I agree that if you're willfully doing it, then I think that you're being a shit. Like I genuinely think you're being a shit. But I also think for the people defending it, this isn't the time to defend it either.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like
it.
It's kind of like it's a double-edged sword where it's like if someone's going, oh, fuck Kris Tyson, instead of going, fuck Eva Tyson or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, if they're unintentionally, if they're intentionally doing that, they are a dick, but calling them out at this time just isn't the fucking vibe, unfortunately, because of all the shit that's coming out of them. But I mean,
the victim is important personally for me. Like I said, I mean, I know trans people and I've got no issue with trans people, but if you're a fucking perv, and then the discourse is just basically, oh, you dead named that person. Like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Like, I didn't know they were called Eva. I genuinely thought they were just called Kris Tyson. Yeah. So that's on me. But
I think it's also I don't know if it's a UK thing, but like Kris with a K, I think is a very feminine way of writing Kris.
Well, that's what I thought it was. Yeah.
I think a lot of people would be genuinely forgiving. I don't think that they all are. I do think there's obviously loads of bad actors and stuff, especially on a platform like Twitter. But like, I do think like for me, what's the I'm sure the mom in the Kardashians is called Kris with a K.
Yeah, Kris Jenner.
And it's like so like for me, that's what I think of when I see the name Kris. And I'm not someone who's ever watched the Kardashians. I give a fuck. It's very uncommon in the UK to find someone called Kris who isn't a man and it's spelled CHR. So Kris with a K leans feminine in my mind as someone who's completely fine with it. I knew obviously that's just called Ava or whatever, and like I don't give a fuck either way. Whatever, do whatever makes you happy. But I think some people will be forgiven for just thinking that was even. Like, you know what I mean? Because I can understand, like, if you were to transition, you want to change your name. But I can also say if you had, like, a name that went either way, you'd be like, oh, well, I don't need to because my name's already kind of unisex or, like, accepted as unisex or whatever. But you might want to be like, I'm separating myself from that person. But they can't have wanted to separate themselves too much because they kept Kris. So they've called themselves, like, Eva Kris Tyson. But, like... Yeah, I just think it's not the argument. It's one of those ones where it makes us actually just feel even more sorry than I already feel for trans people, and not in a looking down on trans people way. And it just like people just talk about them all the fucking time, and it's like,
well, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying now is a barrage of hate because.
Well, it is news this week, so it is one of the most popular things that's been posted about. You know what I mean? Yeah, like it's like I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of JD Vance shit. It's
yeah,
like,
well, that's it. And I mean.
Many...
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, because obviously you get one thing. Like, I've seen a lot more of this Eva Kris Tyson stuff, and like my takeaway was like, I don't give a fuck about that person's pronouns, not because I don't like trans people, because I do. But
a lot of the big posts were that they're going like, well, no matter what they did, you're a piece of shit for talking about the thing. It's kind of like, yes and no. Like, it is thing, but it just isn't the time. Like, honestly, I think if you actually care about the trans community, genuinely, I don't think even like it's a trans person. I think you should just be trying to fucking move away from it as quickly as possible, rather than posting going like, "These are all bastards for dead naming them," because it's just like, nah. Like the last thing you want is a trans person who is possibly a fucking nonce tied to your community that already gets loads of hate anyway.
Yeah, that's it. So you should be just like moving the fuck on. Like this person, we do not class this person as whatever. Move on. Like I've seen genuine people. It's like if you dead name Ava, like you are scum. I'm like, yeah, but fucking one, I didn't know. Two, fucking like there's an innocent child in this or multiple innocent children. That's where the focus should be. Do you know what I mean? And I just think it's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, like, that's all I'm getting right now.
The problem is Twitter in particular is the worst for it, I think. Where it's we talked about in this last episode, where it's like, to an extent, you curate and what you see because of how long you interact with stuff, like the time spent reading that post or like clicking on it and maybe reading some replies. There is a point to that, but like when the Trump shooting happened or assassination attempt or whatever, like I was really bored of it after like half a day because I'd seen like literally no exact like I spend a lot of time on Twitter, like I'll happily admit that. Like I probably read like 1,000 tweets about it, and I was very much like, tell us something, anything else that's going on. So then I stopped. I moved off my For You page, which I don't actually that often, and I moved on to the following page because. And then once I was on my following page, I don't really like. Obviously, I'm British, so I don't really follow that many Americans. Mostly, I follow people who I genuinely know. Like the few people that I'm interested in, probably like I don't really follow that many political accounts. Like I do follow like Kamala Harris and like Barack Obama and Biden. Like I do follow a few, you know what I mean? But not loads. Like it's not the overwhelming majority. So it was like when I went back onto my thing, I'm like, oh, it's my kind of regular post. It's gaming news and fucking.
It's not all like ah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where it's
I
just
mean
like,
that's what I think I need to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the For You page. Like for fuck's sake, man. Like,
it's one of those things where it's like. There's sometimes like once you've had from whence you came once you've had enough of that, like, oh, that's today's story. Like it's a good fucking reprieve, to be honest, to move away from it, man. Because some stories like that are going to be like, that's going to be prevalent for a week sometimes because nothing else might happen that week.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It was like that with Chris Rock and Will Smith. Like, I was sick of that within a couple of days.
How many times can I see that clip and give a fuck?
Yeah, I mean, when it first happened, I was like, wow, that's shitty, man. And then I was like, I was ready to move on, but the whole world was like, no, we're going to talk about this for weeks. And it was literally just that. And I mean, I've seen brief things about JD Vance shagging dolphins or Googling dolphin porn or something like that.
I think what happened with this one was something like, there was a video or something of some woman being like assaulted by a dolphin because dolphins are known to be like terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's this thing where they're like the kind of the terrors of the sea, and it's weird because they've got really good press where like everyone's like, oh, dolphins, I love dolphins, they're so cute. Especially in the 90s, everyone used to get like dolphin tattoos and stuff. Like lasses were massive with dolphin tattoos. Like it's dead common to find a lass with a dolphin tattoo in the 90s and stuff. Anyway, like they've got like really good press, but then it's like marine biologists and stuff have all come out recently and said like, oh yeah, like dolphins are bastards, like they're dead smart. So when they do terrible things, they know exactly what they're doing. So
fucking hell.
They're like the serial killers of the sea, really.
Yeah, just serial rapists.
And they rape
like
anything. They rape any other animal they can, and they like rape their corpses and everything. Like they're really fucking brutal. Like
gross.
So I think it's like someone was like assaulted by a fucking thing, and then he must have been trying to share it. And then because, and you know, like when Twitter does that thing where like you go to read a post and it just automatically fucking refreshes and you lose that post and you're like, I'll never see that again. So he must have searched for it to try and find it. And then someone's found his search history or whatever. And he's like, oh, he's searching fucking like dolphin things. And it's like, he isn't. I actually don't think he is. I mean, that I could be wrong, and that's one of the things I'd seen. But actually, like, same with the couch thing, like, I don't think it's as big of a deal. It's just funny. It's just funny as fuck.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And I'm living for those memes. But it's still hit a point where it's like, right, I'm done now.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think that's the whole thing. Like, I don't know, but besides messaging you the last couple of days, I'm not on Twitter because it's too much. It's just everyone's angry. And obviously that's because my algorithm is telling me everybody is angry, and obviously...
Oh, you're muted.
I'm muted. Am I back?
I can't hear you. and just say the
Hold
meat
on.
logo or anything, but I haven't touched anything. Well, myself a little
Am I
bit.
back?
Oh, hello.
I don't know what the hell happened there. Anyway, so yeah, angry Twitter, fuck it. But yeah, I mean, and now I'm just messaging you. That's all I'm pretty much doing, and
it was
dying of laughter while I do.
Well, you know, I suppose have silly conversations. Well, we were talking about in the last episode where it was like, I know, talking about like the fruitlessness of social media and stuff. So I finally was like, I'm gonna try Twitter Blue. I'm gonna try it and see what it's like, and it only really helps you if you're in replies, so it boosts you in replies.
Right. Okay.
But unfortunately, it is exactly everything it shouldn't be. It is absolutely pay to win Twitter. So like,
oh yeah, for sure.
now if I reply like, because I'm not blowing me on trumpet, but if I like 1 in 10 tweets or whatever, like say it's 1 in 10 tweets, I'd say I've probably got a hit rate of like 6 in 10 tweets genuinely being funny. Like I'm not saying every tweet all right, but actually I do think quite a lot of them are very funny. And like I used to post on Twitter, on Facebook years ago, and Facebook was like less shit. And I mean years ago, like maybe 10 years ago or more.
Yeah.
And I used to regularly get loads of likes on Facebook and stuff. Obviously, it was people that I fucking knew, but it was like, you know, I had more followers there than I have here and things like that. And people saw me posts, and people who saw me posts and liked it. You know what I mean? Whereas obviously, like now it shows you a view count. And on average, when I post a tweet, it was on average like 5 people seen it, if that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
and that's an
crazy,
average.
yeah.
So sometimes it was like 2 or 1. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like no one was saying those posts. And then, so I was like, oh, well, I'll just try it for a month just out of curiosity. So I literally like paid for it and instantly cancelled it just to see what would happen. And it's ridiculous. Like my phone's like I've never basically not stopped getting notifications.
Yeah.
And it's like my sense of humor hasn't changed. I'm literally just making the same silly jokes that I would make on a post. It's just, but people are like interacting with, like they're retweeting it. People are going, "This is fucking hilarious," blah blah blah. And and I'm getting a few followers, not many followers, I'll admit, but like I'm no one. I don't expect that. But it's like just out of like curiosity, it's like, oh wow, yeah, it is actually pay to win.
Oh, for sure.
Especially like I do actually think it's worth it when you're like you've got so low amount of followers anyway, and you don't get seen, because if you say have 10,000 followers already, then if it just shows it at like 10%, that's quite a few people seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So like you could probably live quite happily never having to buy it if you're beyond that.
Yeah.
But like for me, it was like I think I had like 150 followers or something like that. So it was like, 10% of that's like, you know, and it wasn't even showing 10% of people. It was showing like fucking 2% or something.
That's it. But I mean, like, it sucks that it is that.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like,
sucks.
it's pay to win. But I mean, like, my whole thing is like, it's just terribly named. Like, Twitter Blue sounds like porn. Do you know what I mean? It's, do you know,
I
like
don't think
Channel
it's
4
called
or
Twitter Blue
5?
anymore because obviously it's X,
Is it not?
isn't it? So
oh,
it's
well,
like,
yeah. So it X
I don't know what you
rated
call
or
it.
something. I don't know.
You're X rated. I think.
Oh, well, yeah, it won't
I
be
don't know
called
what.
Twitter
I don't
Blue,
know. Oh, it's premium now. That's what it's called. It's called premium.
All right, so
it's
X
premium,
premium.
which does
I mean,
sound
still
like
sounds
porn.
like porn. Do you know what I mean? It's still porn.
It does sound like porn.
Just sign up for X Premium.
The fact that I still call it Twitter Blue because I just
hidden.
refuse to say X, and like I only say X
Yeah,
in the
man.
thing of it's literally called X.
Yeah,
But I'll always refer
I mean,
to it as Twitter. Like
I call it Twitter.
what are you supposed to call it? You know, like obviously a message that you post, you call that a tweet. What are you meant to call it? If it's on X,
I don't know.
What you actually, I just done an
send
X.
this X. I've just
X
done an
marks
X,
the
mate.
spot. X gonna give it to you. Like, all right.
like me X, dude. Do you know what I mean? Like, what?
I'm just liking loads of pictures of your ex. You're like, what are you doing? You
Yeah,
said, like,
see me
your
see
ex.
me latest X. Like, yeah, she was a hound. No, man, on fucking on Twitter.
Yes, she was a hound.
Yeah. Yeah, but so yeah, I mean my For You page has just been dolphins, couches and nonsense, and I just need a break from that, do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, like I say,
just
I'm
need a
enjoying.
break.
I'm actually enjoying Twitter like a game right now because it's like, oh, how many likes can I get, sort of thing on a post?
yeah.
Because like every post I post, pretty much will get some. But it's like,
that's
you know,
it.
like obviously I'm like, oh, this one's got like 1,000 likes. There's like, you know what I mean? Like, how many can I get on this one?
I'm seeing your posts way more.
And that's another thing that's annoying though.
Like,
is
I'm
that-
your friend on there and IRL, but like, I never ever saw your
That's
posts.
what's
But now I
annoying.
just see them all the time.
That's what's annoying though, is like that. It's like they've taken that away
Yeah.
because you'd said that as well, and then it was like, I do. You might notice I do this like every now and again. I'll go onto your page because
And I'll
I'm-
get a couple of
and then
likes,
I'll
yeah.
like your like 6 last posts because they didn't show us them, so I had to go
Yeah.
onto your page. And I'd be like, oh,
man.
fuck, that's a really good... I wish I'd seen that at the time when it was like the joke was relevant or whatever. Or,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? But yeah,
So-
it shouldn't be like that. And it's bullshit. I mean, the weird thing is like, I'd said this obviously about my TikTok being like dead essentially, where all the adverts are actually adverts from TikTok literally saying themselves in the advert, sick of being stuck in 200 viewer jail. And I'm like, so you've created 200 viewer jail. Like it's your platform. So if you're saying that I'm someone who's locked in this 200 thing and the only way out is to pay, it's because you've put us there.
Yeah, man.
You know what I
Fuck.
mean? They're like, are you in 200 viewer? Well, pay TikTok. But I'd got, obviously because I'm ADHD, and I used to post specifically ADHD content on TikTok. Like, you know, like last year when I was getting diagnosed and everything, I was talking about my journey and all that shit. Before I got, you know, because I have ADHD, before I got bored. I was like, and now I loathe ADHD content, even as someone with ADHD. I'm just like, fuck, I don't care. I know everything.
Yeah.
I mean it in the like, it sounds conceited, but it's true. I know pretty much everything there's to know about ADHD because I watched that fucking much. It became me fucking hyper focused. So I'm just sick of that fucking content. But as a result of that, obviously I was like connecting with other ADHD and neurodivergent creators. And oh fuck, what was my point? There's me ADHD. I went on a tangent and it's fucking gone. Oh, what is
No.
It'll come back to us at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, just do a funny racism. Do you know what I mean? We'll move on. Jews.
But yeah, it's just like, say that platform's just fucking dead to us. And then like TikTok itself's basically saying like, this is what it was. Yes, it's come. I knew if I just started talking about it again, it would come back. That's how it works.
The crank in your brain's starting again.
So because obviously I'm in touch with other neurodivergent creators, and a mutual friend had posted a video, and I sent it to another friend. I was like, look at the comments on this person's post, because this person had a business as well. So they were like a coach or whatever. So like, you know, say you're going through applying for it or whatever, and you need assistance in filling out the forms or things you might, you know, like some people like don't know how to broach the subject of ADHD with their doctor. So some people offer services where like, here's the things you should ask your doctor and say to your doctor, whatever. So the post was literally like a picture of a hand drawn on a bit of paper, like writing on a bit of paper, saying something, you know, like, and then it was some quote about ADHD, and it had, this person was like us in 200 viewer jail for fucking ages, so didn't understand why this one video had thousands of likes and thousands of views and thousands of comments, and all the comments were posted at the exact same time. So it said like 26 minutes ago, but every single post was 26 minutes ago, and the posts were like, beautiful hair, oh, such a gorgeous person, and it was like the video's a hand writing on a thing, and I'm like, so I sent it to my friend, was like, they've bought views, they've paid for it, and it's
man.
And that's the thing is where it's like, I don't think Twitter's worth paying for, in the sense of like, I just don't think you should pay for Twitter, really. I just did it because I'm just interested in like the experiment side of it, because I won't pay for it again. I'm just interested in it, you know what I mean? But at least you are getting something out of it, so it's like kind of like your replies are boosted. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm gonna play the game of Twitter for this month, but then I've already cancelled it, so like next month I'm not gonna pay for it again.
Yeah, well, that's it.
And I'm just gonna go back to being a dead account, because it's fine, because what does it matter anyway? None of it really matters. Like even though I'm getting thousands of likes now and a few follows and stuff, it doesn't really translate to anything in the real world. Like, it still doesn't fucking matter. But TikTok's fucking like, that's a scam. You're getting nothing out of it. It's like, it's like bots. You're basically getting bot views. So it might look like artificial numbers, but the problem is like, I think we did this some years ago when we did like a gaming podcast, because obviously we always joke about how we did 10 podcasts, but we weren't exaggerating. We've done about 10 podcasts.
Oh yeah.
And it was one of our gaming ones, and we paid for an ad on Facebook. And it was something like, you know, it did get a couple of thousand views, but it was a link. It was like an advert with a link, and nobody clicked the link. So it was like 1,000 fucking say interactions, but no one clicked the link. And that's what she's getting. It's like she's trying to get people to sign up to her business. But all you've got is thousands of comments talking about like, your hair's beautiful, even though her hair's not, she's not in the video, her hair's not in the video.
So it's just a waste
so
of
like
money.
it's a waste of money because like you're not gonna get any business out of it.
No, not at all.
But I just don't know how like is surely even she'll notice that. Not like it's a slight on her, but I'm just like anyone will notice like.
Oh yeah.
How come all these comments are posted at the exact same time? They're all talking about nothing in the video.
Nothing in the video. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's it.
Because the AI can't see the video, so they're just saying generic comments.
Yeah, it's bullshit. But I mean, like that's shady as fuck though. For on TikTok side, like they know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean?
100%. That's what I'm saying. Also,
they're
like
just bots.
all of like I said, all the adverts have turned into that. And if I post a TikTok, like in the bottom left, where like if someone's advertising, it'll say commission paid. On my bottom left, just for me to see. Other people cannot say this because obviously it's not a commission paid or anything like that. But it just says save £10 to promote or something like that, or pay £10 to promote. And I'm like, so you're basically saying if I don't click this link and pay, this video will not be seen. And then that's what's happening. It's like I haven't got loads of followers, but I've got more followers on TikTok than I do on like most of the fucking platforms and stuff. But
yeah.
In fact, I've got a very similar amount of followers on there as I do on YouTube, and YouTube pushes the video. So sometimes I post literally because YouTube Shorts obviously have to be under a minute, whereas TikTok's like pushing longer videos. So I tried longer videos because they kept for 6 months. They were telling us to do like up to 10-minute videos, but I'd always been doing under a minute videos so that I could post them both on TikTok and Shorts. So then I specifically made a couple of longer videos, and they still fucking didn't do any better. So I'm like. And I was like, I think it's because it already pushed us into that point where it's like, oh, we're going to tell this person that they have to pay.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
But someone made a point where it was like, I don't know if you've seen that people are doing like these begging videos. I don't know if we've talked about this before. So
begging videos.
So people literally, the way you can monetize on TikTok is, I think you need so many followers, obviously. Much like, it's well, you'll notice how it's very much like fucking YouTube. You need a few metrics, but then obviously to make actual money, you need like serious amount of views. You know what I mean? You know yourself, like on a couple of thousand video, you're talking a couple of quid. So like to make real money, you need like 1 million views. Not a million, but you know, a couple of 100,000 or whatever, or 100,000. Anyway, so people are going like, oh, my dog's sick, or I've got cancer, and obviously you have to pay for like cancer treatment in America and stuff like that. So they're like, if you just watch 30 seconds of this video, and 1 million people watch this video and like it. It's like, it's only 30 seconds a day. That's all I'm asking for. I'm just like, I can't afford it. I'm going to go bankrupt and die, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you watch it, but, and it's like, I appreciate the grift and the grind and stuff like that. But it is working. So some of these videos, people are getting like 4 or 5 million fucking views on this video, which, you know, that someone worked it out, it's like 20, 30 grand. Like they're getting, which
Christ.
is paying for the things. And then you'll see their follow-up video's got like 1,000 views instead of 1 million. And it's them saying, thank you, we did it, I got the money, and I'm going to be, you know, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. It's amazing to fucking have that. But someone made the point is like, but they're becoming more and more frequent because obviously if you're desperate and then you say work for someone else, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
And then what's happening now is people are going, well, the problem is that money was for proper creators who were making unique, actual good content, because it isn't good content. Like, you're not making a funny, informative video of me going, I'm gonna die, help us. Like, it's harrowing as fuck, and that is like a failure of capitalism, and it's the government that should be doing something about that, not TikTok. Which is ultimately another government because it's a different fucking country altogether. Or it's a fucking company in another country. But it's like all that money is money that is being taken away from creators. So that means that somebody who is like a smaller creator will never have a chance because the money they could have, like that 30 grand that they might have been able to make over like 2-3 years of content has now been lost to one video of someone begging. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking hell. That is insane.
And you go like, oh, fuck. But
you should just get homeless people to do it then, because there'd be less homeless people.
It's when you think of it in a sense, it's almost like a fucking universal basic income scheme.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I mean, there's a homeless problem in. I mean, we went to see James Arthur.
Yeah.
And I've never seen so many homeless people in the area we went.
Where did he go?
Like,
Leeds.
Leeds, yeah, and like it's a shithole.
Yeah.
And I mean, Newcastle's a shithole. Do you know what I mean?
I've been to Leeds
But
as well. It is, yeah.
yeah, but there was literally people lying on the streets just on drugs. People checking people's pulses at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we left to get on the bus back, and there was someone just unconscious. It must have been about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, just in the streets. You know what I mean? These are the people who need that money, so they should be the ones. Because begging on the streets doesn't work, so get begging on TikTok.
It's wild, isn't it? It's scary.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like just as you become like, it's weird because there's been this like saying for years where it's like the older you get, the more conservative you become. Like that's like a well-known saying, but I find it's the opposite. Like I'm becoming like more accepted. Like I used to be one of those people. Excuse me, is like say I'm in my 20s and I'm on a night out and I'm next to a cash point. And there's a guy at the cash point like begging. Like I'd be annoyed. And I'd be like, come on, I'm trying to just fucking draw some money out in peace. Like, I've been to work and it's shit. And we work with shit and I'm miserable and I need this drink. And, like, people are like, don't give them money because they'll just spend it on drugs. But then I think, like, if I was sat thinking about it now, I'm like, if I'm fucking out on the street and it's freezing fucking cold and I might be sick as well and nobody gives a fuck and no one's coming to help us, why wouldn't I want the reprieve of fucking alcohol?
That's it.
Why wouldn't I want to fucking get out my mind? You know what I mean? As someone who like
you're numbing the pain essentially, aren't you?
Know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And it's just like,
I mean, I wasn't like, oh, tramps. Do you know what I mean?
I
I
know
upset.
that, but like, yeah,
I was like, fucking hell, like, why? What are they doing wrong in Leeds? Do you know what I mean? Like, because there's just no funding for it.
There's no funding.
Absolutely insane.
It's just because certain towns in particular, like there's just the UK. One of the reasons I think we're fucked in most towns is that we don't really produce anything that's like worldwide, you know what I mean? So we don't produce many things where you go, oh, there's this British product that everyone has everywhere. There might be like a unique, like 1 or 2 things, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know, like Newcastle Brown Ale, like you can get that everywhere sort of thing. But you know what I mean? But that doesn't keep like Newcastle as a city afloat, that one company.
Well, that's it.
What I mean is like, you know what I mean? We don't like fucking outsource loads of shit and we don't make enough stuff internal. And as that goes on, there's just less and less jobs for people. You know what I mean? And then we're not doing anything to support people, which is obviously why I've always like argued for basic income, because like there's so many people who just are never going to get jobs. They're never going to like AI's just getting better and better, and that's going to take loads of jobs. And it's just like, but where do those people go? And I myself have seen it myself, like applying for jobs and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure most of these jobs are fake.
Oh yeah,
like it's the first time in my entire life, and like I'm approaching 40, where probably out of 20 jobs applied for, 20 fucking has actually been too nice. Probably out of 40 jobs I apply for, one of them will get back to us. And I don't mean get back to us for an interview. I mean get back to us even just to say no. Yeah, I mean just actually contact us again after applying. Yeah. Like 1 in 40, and that's never happened my entire life. Like because I've got ADHD, I've always changed jobs within like. I typically can only stay at a place 1 to 2 years, sometimes a couple of months because I fucking hate it. This is the first time in my life that's happened where it's just like, oh, nowhere gets back here. Yeah. Like the second the job goes up on the site and stuff, even if you apply for it that same day, and you just never hear from them again.
Yeah, that's madness.
And it's just
absolute madness. I wish AI could take my job and do all the editing for us. Like,
well, I mean. It will be able to soon. It really will.
Oh yeah, eventually.
It just keeps getting better and better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just.
I'd pay for that. Like I would definitely pay for that.
But that's the thing. Like I think it's like I've said it before. Like you need to take advantage of this shit while you can. I mean, not you personally, just people in general. Like I've applied for jobs and I've used ChatGPT for the application, and those are some of the jobs I've heard back from. When I used to work literally for the recruitment service for the government, like someone applied for a job and then emailed and said, I've passed the SIFT. You've invited us to interview. I'm not coming to interview. I'm just telling you that I passed the SIFT using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And they were telling us to be like, there's a flaw in your system. Mm-hmm. And I worked there at the time on the recruitment team, and I was there in discussions with fucking the full team. What can we do about this? And it's like, there's nothing we can do because it passes plagiarism checkers. So you can't retroactively, like whatever text they put in, you cannot go and put that into a search engine and go, is this fake? Because it'll pass.
Yeah.
Because it pulls from so many sources, and you can be so unique about it. So like one of the ones I did, I said like, it was like a job stacking shelves or something like that because I just wanted a fucking chill job, and I said, answer this question. It was something like, why do you want? Oh, give an example of a time you've had a difficult situation or dealt with a difficult customer or whatever, and come to a good resolution. So I pasted the literal question in, and then said, and it needed like 3,000 plus words or whatever. So I was like, here's the little question. Please give a reply under 3,000 words at the reading grade of someone who passed high school, because I don't want to sound too fucking smart because it's just a job stacking shelves or whatever. And I got an interview.
Yeah. Jeez, that's insane.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
And it's like, don't get us wrong. Obviously, the job itself is just stacking shelves, so anyone can fucking do that, really. So they probably just wanted to see you could write full sentences, which I could have done. I just couldn't be asked to write. Like, there was multiple questions, so like I did it. I worked it out. It was something like 15,000 words I wanted, which isn't fucking loads, but for stacking shelves, it's like when you're applying for like 10 to 15 jobs a day, I'm like, I can't be asked with this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I also said, like, because I've worked in the past at other companies, I said, give an example of someone who worked in a cinema, and it literally just starts writing pivot, and it's going like, some customers came to the counter and they had booked tickets for the wrong day, so it was up to me to change the ticket. Like, it just, and I'm just like, yeah, that is perfect. That is the perfect scenario. And I just proofread it, and I like changed a couple of words.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was like
insane.
a task that probably would have took us 40 minutes, took us about 10 or less.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I can do that for editing, I'll be a happy man. Like, because I mean, I'm overwhelmed, and I do it to myself. Like, because as you know, I've got 2 channels.
Mm-hmm.
I've got me reaction channel and me gaming channel. So on me reaction channel, I've got 5 videos needing edited, and on me gaming channel, I've got 3. So I'm playing Bum Simulator, Alien Isolation, and Dead Rising all at the same time. and I'm like, just finish a game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, but I'll start Minecraft next.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? So I need an AI to be like, yeah, I'll edit this while you do that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's too much, and
it is too much. It is too. It's that thing though. It's like you want to do all these other things. The problem I think that the kind of corner you're kind of locked into is that obviously your income's from that one channel.
Yeah.
So that's important, and obviously But that channel needs like how many videos do you think you need to post a week realistically? Like, say, just to maintain status quo.
I mean, I would have said like a year ago 5 a week, but now like 8 to 10.
Yeah. So you got to post like let's just say for an 8.
And
so you got to put.
Yeah, and I haven't got that in us anymore because I'm just like, I don't want to sit all day for 3 days editing 8 videos and doing nothing else. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like living in quiet desperation that I get like a viral hit like I did with Manhunt on me gaming channel, and it like spirals and I get thousands and thousands of subscribers, and it makes a lot of money. So I'm just like, buy a reaction channel and I can just play video games because that's the dream.
It's the thing that no one ever talks about, and it's that thing of like, and you would probably do this, but I think the mindset makes you think you wouldn't. So it is when someone's rich, they keep working. Where it's like someone who works fucking like yourself has, or like me, where you work a full-time job that you fucking hate most of your life. Yeah. Like, you think, if I was rich, I just wouldn't fucking work.
Yeah. Oh, I would, because I'd want to stay rich.
And I'm like, but no, but even if you had fuck you money, you don't ever need to work again. Like, I think a lot of people are like, wouldn't work, but you actually would. Like, I think loads of people, like, I always thought for years, I'd be like, if I was like millionaire, I'm like, I'll just lie down every day and I'll just maybe go on holidays and buy nice things, but I'll never work. And it's like, nah, you get bored eventually.
Oh yeah. I mean, Platinum Planet, like, I love that because I get to be creative, as opposed to the reaction channel where it's just like, ha ha ha, joke, edit. But with Platinum Planet, like my Resident Evil video, I was crying laughing. Like, I had COVID so bad, like I didn't even know if it was funny anymore. But while I was in a fever and editing, I was like, that's hilarious. And people commented like, this is really funny.
Do you think that you'd have 10 times more vigor for your reaction channel if every single edit just got straight through?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because I think that seems like the chore of it.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's my problem with everything. Is like, I only, because of my ADHD and I've got like shit attention span stuff, I only like fun things. So the second it becomes unfun, so that's one of the reasons with this channel, like the whole kind of thing with this channel is like, it's easy. We just sit, have a chat, it's a laugh. And it doesn't take, it takes practically zero editing You know what I mean? Like the only thing I've got to edit is I've got to crop a couple of things, export it, and then make a shit thumbnail. And like then I'm done. And it's like, but realistically, I could literally do a lot more. Like a lot of other channels will spend a lot of their time making shorter videos and stuff, but I just can't be arsed because I hate that. And it's the same with the reaction thing because I thought about it and I'm like, because obviously we have different tastes in shows, but I love your channel for like certain certain things that you watch because like obviously Clerks being one of my favorite films. When you watch Clerks, I was like, oh my god, he's watched Clerks.
Yeah,
like, I think I've watched that video about 3 times because I love Clerks that much anyway. You know what I mean? So like so like Clerks plus my best friend, it's like you know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
So like stuff like that where it's just like, oh, I'm thinking, oh well, I could do that, but then I would hate the editing side of it. Because I do think, like, no offense to you, I think it's the hard work that like separates you from most people. Because, like, I do think most people could just sit and laugh at a funny show.
Oh yeah.
And
that's
also,
not hard.
and also, it upsets us though. In the opposite of that is that I think you're fucking genuinely hilarious. But then, if a woman does, because I watched your Clerks one. I remember this was ages ago. Whenever you did it the first time, I went through a thing. I watched your video and I watched a bunch of other people watch Clerks.
Yeah.
And every single one where it was a lass watching Clerks because she was just attractive. She had like 40,000 times the views of your video, but the quality wasn't any better. Like it wasn't like she has better lighting, she has a better camera. She didn't have any of that shit, so it wasn't a production standpoint.
Attractive.
And then I thought, well, maybe she's fucking got like really astute observations. Nope. And I was like, well, maybe she's just dead funny or she's got a hilarious laugh or something. It was just none of those things. It was just she was attractive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I literally there's literally like 3. Like I could find them for you that easily just by searching Clerks reaction. I could find like
and
3
I'll be at the
videos
bottom of the pile.
that have like 60,000 views, and the lass is boring as fuck.
Yeah, man.
I'm like,
yeah. There's a couple that
no
are
one wants
like
to fuck you know what I mean? That's the problem.
Well, that's it. I mean, like, I used to get messages off people like, "What can I do to get my reactions like to the level of yours?" And I'd be like, "Just react." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then a girl was like, "Oh, what shows are good?" I was like, "Oh, It's Always Sunny," and then she did it, and she made more views than me. But she gave up because she was like, "I don't like the editing." I was like, "Yeah, I understand," because
nobody likes the So when I worked at a fucking cinema when I was 19, and there was this lass who played Call of Duty, and then I found her years later. I'm not trying to find her. I was watching Call of Duty videos around the time of Warzone 1 blowing up.
Yeah,
and a video came up, and I was like, I know her, and it was like 70,000 views or something like that. And I clicked on it, and it was this lass who, like, lived in fucking, North Shields or whatever, or Whitley Bay or something.
Yeah.
And she was making videos, and I watched a few of her videos, and she was shit. Like, she's good at the game.
Yeah.
But she was like shit crack and that. But there was nothing. But she is pretty though. You know what I mean? And it was like, and I was like, oh, I can't believe she's doing so well. And then it was like, I think it turned out it was like her husband was doing all the editing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, fucking hell, that's because he's smart. Because he's like, if he's willing to do the editing, that's smart because he's like, he knows that if it was his face on the video, no one would give a fuck.
Oh yeah, no one give a shit.
But I think they flaked out in where you couldn't make, like, I'm pretty sure their channel stopped for whatever reason, couldn't maintain
like
the frequency.
Platinum Planet, the edits, like, they're way longer than the reactions, but they always get approved. Do you know what I mean? Because I mean, obviously I use some content that could be copyrighted, like me, it's the Resident Evil one. Like, people are calling it It's Always Sunny in Raccoon City because I use so much
I've seen that comment,
Sunny stuff. Yeah. Like, but with that channel, it'll take us a week to edit a video, and I've got to think of, like, funny things when I'm doing, like, the monologue over it or what have you.
The voiceover and that.
But I get to be creative in that, whereas the other one, I'm not as creative. Yeah, I'll say something funny, but that's just like that. Like me and you, we have a natural rapport. Do you know what I mean? So all I do is I just get in that mode of, like, I know I can say something funny.
You're just essentially cutting a bit of the scene and then the bit where you say the thing. Yeah. Whereas but obviously Platinum Planet, the edit's actually keeping you a bit interested because you're having to go like, oh, I need to put a funny image. What? And I'll go find a funny image, and then you're like, and you'll obviously, like, like, I obviously see a little bit of that when I do the thumbnails for this, where I'm like, oh, I'll go get Trump's head and I'll fucking cut around his head so that I can place his head on this picture and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where it's like, that's really fun. And that's what's happening with your Platinum Plan video, is
Yeah,
that the edit, which is the most boring part that everybody overlooks, it's like you're getting to make that interesting because you're like, ooh, I'm put a sound effect here and that'll make that funnier.
Yeah,
I'll put some silly music in this thing and, zoom in on my face like fucking crying, laughing or scared at the jump scare or whatever, you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. Yeah, so like that last who was getting 70,000 views and her husband was editing. Like, to me, I'd be like, I will edit the shit out of that video for 70,000 views.
Yeah.
Whereas me reaction channel, I'm just like, I'm going to get demonetized. It's like, or it's going to get blocked or limited. And it's just like, I'll edit it and then I'll go up and it's blocked 4 times. And I'm like, I could have had 6 videos done today. Like, if I get in the zone where I'm editing, and then it just like comes crashing down because the first video gets blocked 4 or 5 times.
I don't expect you to know this, just curiosity. Like, how come, do you know why Patreon can just post whatever the fuck they like versus other platforms?
And I hope it doesn't change, because
I'm just like,
I literally upload the full unedited reaction to Patreon, and I don't have an issue. And if that changes and they get like what you call it, like demonetized or what have you for like copyright issues, I'd have to find some other platform to upload.
I wonder if it's because the person, like, they're just like, oh, people are sharing whatever they want on that page. The subscription's really to the person rather than the product or something like that.
Well,
and that's like maybe kind of separating, because for YouTube, obviously, it's tied to advertisers, isn't it? So like a big part of the income is the adverts that play. And obviously the advert, you can't be putting an advert on top of somebody else's copyrighted content or some shit like that.
That's it, yeah.
But like,
it's
something as big as like, say, South Park or fucking like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, I understand they're a business, like I literally understand it, but it's like every episode of South Park, for example, is paid for by the channel that like it goes on. Is it Paramount or whatever? Paramount Comedy or whatever.
Paramount,
it goes on.
And
it's
Comedy
like
Central,
they've already paid for that episode and they get paid for every single rewatch. Like, do they really need like to try and take a bite out of? But it must be worth it for them. There must be enough income.
Oh yeah, it must.
But it is, like, for me personally, like, obviously if I owned the full rights to it, I'd just be like, reactive or whatever I fucking post.
Yeah, well,
that's one of the reasons. Like, obviously one of my favorite podcasts was Cumtown, because Cumtown was just on Patreon, and then all the clips of it aren't them. It's like somebody's taking the fucking show off Patreon and they've uploaded it, and they don't go after any of those people. They're just like, because they were making so much money, they're just like, well, why do I need any more? If anything, it's advertising for my show.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I agree. I definitely agree.
I mean, I can understand the cut down to an extent where, like, it makes sense for you and your channel to be like, because of the way YouTube's built, it's better to post it in an 8 to 12 minute video than it is to post a half an hour one or whatever.
Yeah.
That I can understand. And then, like, part of his things, like, if anything, that makes your channel seem like advertised for that show because you're not getting the full episode.
Well, that's it,
so then it's like, well, I'm going to go watch that episode because he was laughing his head off like that.
But people complain about that, like, you're not showing enough of the episode. I'm like, I've showed 15 minutes. It's a 22-minute episode. Just go and watch the other bits that weren't funny. And don't laugh at it. Do you know what I mean?
I actually think a lot of them as well have seen the episode already, because that's what I find the most enjoyable out of reactions is when it's content I've already seen. So, like I say, Clerks being one of my literal favourite films. Like, watching someone watch Clerks is great for me because I'm like, oh, I love this bit. I want to see this person's reaction to this bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It was a great film. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I mean, people seem to just do way better than me. Some people don't even have to put anything over like, they don't have to watermark it or anything.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it.
Don't get it. I don't at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll try it without a watermark, art block, and I'm like, well, I'll put the watermark on. Then I'll watch somebody, and I'm like, hey, they don't have a watermark, and I'm showing way less than them. So I don't know, but yeah, it's just a fucking nightmare, man. I hate it.
I think I said that day. I'm like, I don't understand because I've watched, because obviously sometimes you have to like reverse the image and shit like that, and I'm like, it doesn't detract from the video, like I think I said at the time as well. But I just noticed because I never watched reaction content until your channel, and then because I've watched your channel, like I've started watching.
You get recommended others, and
I wouldn't say I've started watching them though, but I've like, there's just been a few times I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'll watch that, but I still typically don't watch that much reaction content.
Yeah,
but
I can't watch any YouTube now. It's just ruined me. Like, I can't watch gaming videos because what happens if subconsciously I steal somebody's joke for one of my videos and like, oh, you just parroted that person's joke, and I can't watch reaction videos because I just hate people. I'm like, how have you got more views than me? You're not as funny. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just better about it. I'll watch.
I don't think
you
you should.
That's it.
I think obviously fair enough, and I understand the reasons, but I don't think you should worry about stealing someone's joke.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's an issue as much as the fucking people make it out to be. Because what was I watching recently? Like everything's just a copy of a copy of a copy. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh well, it was like that other day when someone posted that painting of like it was meant to be Jesus holding a fucking baby or whatever, and someone said it looks
Yeah.
like Noel Edmonds, and I was like, can't
Yeah.
confirm, and I copied Mr. Blobby onto the baby's head.
That was hilarious.
Somebody else or two other people posted that exact same image that I did. They did, like, obviously not mine, but they did the exact same. They took Mr. Blobby's head and put it on.
Yeah.
And it's because they obviously didn't see my picture, because I don't know if you know this as well, like if someone's got like thousands of views, someone's got, say, thousands of comments on Twitter and stuff, me and you might open it, but we'll be served different replies from the same pool of replies. So like I might not see the same replies that you see. So they obviously didn't see my post, and then their posts have got no likes because obviously I paid for Twitter. Mine's at the fucking top, and it was like first or whatever.
Yeah.
But they didn't steal my joke. It's just people came to this fucking same conclusion.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm just always wary of it.
Do you know what I mean? I think it's an issue in, say, like it's a big thing in the stand-up circuit and stuff, like for comedians stealing it, but like I don't think it's gonna, like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And then also, like, you know, it's like it's acceptable to do it as an homage as well. So like, say you loved Big Bang Theory and you said Bazinga, have you stole the Bazinga line?
Oh well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
yeah.
And I always go. I mean, obviously, I'll technically credit it, but I regularly go like, "Oh, it's like this from The Simpsons," or when Homer said this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, like off like movies and TV shows, my life is always just one quote away from a movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, I always quote that, but it's just more like personal pride. Like, I don't want to steal this other YouTuber's joke when they're making a platinum video or what have you.
Yeah.
I just want to, so that I just to avoid it for that reason, because they'll have a funny
fair,
joke.
you haven't got the fucking time.
Yeah, well, that's true. Like, I've got any fucking time. Like, it's to the point now where I'm always forever getting in trouble because I'm constantly moaning because I need to go back home to work.
Yeah.
Like, that's. I'm like, right, we've been out 3 hours. I've got to go home and work. Or we're shopping and I'm like, hurry up, man, I've got to go back and work. So I don't have the time to do it. Like, I literally only watch YouTube now while I'm brushing my teeth, because I'll put a pitch meeting video on and I'll brush my teeth and watch it. And then after that, I'm just like, I'm going to bed, I'm going to put Netflix on and pass out, and I do. Like, that's the one good thing about being constantly working, is that when I get into bed, I sleep.
Yeah.
I like close my eyes and I'm done. I'll see you in the morning, and that's the one good thing about it. But everything else I just hate. I hate it all. But I want to get another viral video like I did with Manhunt, and now that I'm monetized, I'd get the whole amount of money. And I looked it up, and it's like 84,000 views. I'd probably get like 500 quid, and I'd be like, well, I don't have to work this month. I can just chill.
I know, it'd be amazing if you could just get that so that you only had to make like two to three videos.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Because that's the thing. As I get older as well, like I'm at that point now already where I'm just like, I'm really considering looking. It's hard enough to find a fucking job anyway, but I'm really considering a part-time job that just pays, like, obviously not the exact same as full-time job. That's not realistic, but like, just enough to cover me fucking bills, because I'd rather have the time.
Oh yeah, man.
I'd rather have the time. I mean, obviously I've got ADHD, so like I'm like, I hate, you know, people will fucking hate us and say, like, you know, it's using it as an excuse or whatever, but I just struggle more than normal people. Like, people don't ever want to give anyone everything, or rather, don't want to give anyone anything. They're like, everyone struggles, and it's just like, yeah, but me saying everyone struggles isn't me saying that there aren't people in worse situations.
Oh yeah, well that's
but
it.
Like, someone who doesn't have ADHD essentially does have an easier life than me. I'm not saying easiest in every part of their life's perfect, and their life's just easier in general. But it's just like, I'm just like, and I'm just, what my problem is when I have full-time jobs is just in the evening, I'm just a dead person, like literally dead. Like, I don't want to do anything. I don't go out. I've got no energy. I end up just lying down until the next day at work. And people go, oh, it's just laziness. And I'm like, nah, because even like there was like that year where I was hardcore into weightlifting. All I did then was I went to work, and then I came home and I did fucking weights. And then
Yeah.
I still did nothing. And then you know what I mean?
Well, that's it.
And you,
I
and
mean,
you can't go, oh, you're lazy. And I'm like, well, I'm coming home and lifting more weight than you could ever lift.
yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, like, I'm an idiot YouTuber, but I'm the same. Like, once I'm done with work, I'm just like, I don't want to do anything else. I just want to sit in front of the TV or sit on my phone. I just want to exist until I have to do all of this again. Like, don't get us wrong. 3 years ago when that started, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to edit all the time. I thought to myself, in 4 years' time, I'll be making enough money that I can hire editors so I won't have to do it. Like, about a year in, I was like, this is starting to get annoying. Now, I just
I
hate it
thought
with a
you would
passion.
hit that point as well because just
Yeah.
with the growth and stuff. But I feel like it's also a bit like the TikTok. I feel like you hit a point and then it's like you've been capped,
Yeah.
and it's like you can never.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I still make like 100 subscribers a week. Do you know what I mean? But like, it's never. I wanted that plaque for 100K, and I was like, I'll get that in a year or two, and it just hasn't happened. And I'm fine with that now. I was gutted at first. It's like, well, that's fucking bullshit. But now I'm just like, well, I'll get 2K views a video, 20 quid per video. 30 if I'm lucky. Do you know what I mean? It just depends on like which location watches the video and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fair enough. And then I've got Patreon, so I was making enough money. But then like last year, YouTube was like, oh, by the way, fuck you, you're getting less now. And it's just like, oh, okay then. And I can't do anything about it. There's nothing can be done. They'll change their ways again next year, and it'll either be better or worse. So
yeah, I don't get the problem is I think there's a finite amount of spots. Like genuinely, so like literally you can make infinite channels, but there's only so much money. There's only so much money on the platform at any given time. There's only so many advertisers, and it's like it's like that thing around Christmas. You know, like people make more money around Christmas because there's more advertisers and stuff. You got it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's the economy affect everything, so it's even going to affect YouTube. It's like people have got less money than ever to spend. So
well, that's it.
Therefore, then this company now has less money for their advertising budget. Or they care less about their advertising budget because people aren't coming to fucking spend. You know what I mean? Because like now, like I see certain items and I'm thinking like, who's buying that now?
Yeah.
Like say like
Well,
a PlayStation fucking Pro come out because that's been like the rumor for ages, and there's a PlayStation 5 Pro rumor and all this. Like who's buying that en masse? Like right now?
I'm not.
Like. Yeah. Because like the price of stuff is like it's the first console generation where the price hasn't went down. So like they're still full price. I was looking like an Xbox Series X is still 450 quid. It's like what, 6 years later?
Insane. Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely insane.
So like who's like
man.
you know what I mean? I'm not saying that the people won't buy it at all, but it's like the hardcore gamers. You know what I mean? That's the problem with like the online fucking bubble of like the echo chamber that you live in. Like, this is why I think that Kamala Harris is going to win. Actually, is because all you see online is people fucking arguing for Trump mainly. But that's what happened with the UK. My entire online thing was just reform. Every post was saying reform, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, reform are going to get in here.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, no, they got absolutely demolished.
Oh yeah.
And it was like because the amount of people online aren't fucking like they aren't really representative of the entire population. That's like a small amount of people who are like on that one thing. You know what I mean? So I think it's that thing of like, it looks that way. It looks like that fucking Trump's gonna get in stuff, but I don't think it's gonna.
I hope not. Like, I think he's a sociopath.
He is a sociopath.
He doesn't care about anyone. The people who vote for him, he doesn't care about them. He couldn't give two shits. I mean, has he visited the family of the firemen? No, he was golfing the next day. Like, come on, you fucking
golfing
prick.
the next day, and then people had seen his ear recently, and they're saying that there's knee marks on it and out.
Is there not? Right?
There's like photos.
I haven't seen that.
There's like clear photos apparently of him like yesterday or the day before. Where he hasn't got a pad on his ear at the minute. He's taking the pad off, and it's like his ear looks perfect. And some mum was like, I worked in fucking old people homes for fucking years, and she's like, anyone over 70, like the tiniest scratch, it takes them like months to heal the tiniest little scratch, because that's what happens when you get old. You slow down and stuff.
Yeah. Oh well, I've slowed down already, mate. I'm nearly 40, and I'm just done with life. Like,
I seen it
in the head.
I seen a fucking thing where it was like they reckon we're only, I think it's 10 years away from eternal life pills or something to that equivalent, because they're basically saying that the trials are going really well on rats so far. Well, it's quite interesting actually. They did all these fucking studies, and they've got these pills that are extending a rat's life so far by as much as 25%. But it only works on male rats, so like saying it might not work on women.
Nice.
So it's just
Fucking yes.
sausage party in the future. Just loads of blood.
Cannot
We're
wait.
just all gonna be Greek and just bumming each other because there's
yeah.
no other option. You're just like, honestly, I'm not gay. I'm not
I'm
enjoying
not gay,
this.
I'm
It's
just
like-
immortal. Do you know what I mean?
There's no
I'm
other
living
option.
forever.
What am I gonna do? Never have sex again?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not gay. I'm immortal. Fucking
You
hell,
know what I mean?
Paul.
Like, I don't want to live forever. I don't.
Yeah, I do.
I don't want to live much longer.
I do. I want to live. I don't want to have to work though. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to have to.
Well, that's what it is. They'll be
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's so you
keep
can
the
work
poor
forever.
people alive forever because where do you think the
Yeah.
tax comes from?
Oh well, that's it. Yeah. I mean,
But they
yeah, I
have
like
to
the
look at
sound
shit
of
like
being
that because no
immortal.
one's having kids.
Yeah. Oh well, that's true. But yeah, I mean, it does sound appealing. But then again, I mean, I'd have to watch me kids and my girlfriend die. So like, give me the fucking pills now. Do you know what I mean?
If I were to watch me girlfriend die, it's like you weren't meant to kill her. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, right. I thought I'd take the pill and I do a murder and I get live forever.
Yeah.
Right. My bad.
I thought I had to earn the pill. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're still alive and you're still trying to shoot them. I can't hear you. Sorry, what? Shoot more. But no, seriously, I like the idea of immortality. Like,
Yeah.
but I do. But also at the same time, like, it would just be more of this, and that was really sad. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we
Yeah.
could do this podcast forever, so there's a plus. Do you know what
I mean, I plan to do this podcast forever, but
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Episode
Like,
1,076,076.
Yeah.
We're still here. Fucking
and
hell. But yeah,
we've doubled our views from 1 to 2.
yes, yes. In a million years, we'll be the only podcast going because nobody else took the pills. So
But
we
yeah,
win
that's-
just. On that
I just
alone.
don't like I say, if we actually became an actual society, because we always say we're a society, but we're not really. If we became an actual society that gives a fuck about people, and it was like, oh wow, we've got enough for everyone, let's start serving everyone, and there isn't homeless people and shit like that. Otherwise it just sounds like it's kind of like the mega rich who are already billionaires will become trillionaires and get a continue to be like it's that have you seen Altered Carbon?
Yeah, I've seen that.
So
Yeah.
it's just like the
Where the
kind of
rich people get new bodies
they
and
get
shit.
new bodies and you just a new sleeve and like you just live
Yeah.
forever. Like it's very seems that kind of it's very dystopian.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but yes, sign me up. I want immortality.
can you give me a cyanide pill? I'll just
Yeah.
I'll fuck out now. I'll finish early, me.
Yeah, finish early.
Who
But yeah,
can-
I mean,
who can be arsed?
it's not gay if it's immortal. If you're immortal, I think that should be the tagline for the new Highlander movie. And it's just there's no beheadings. He's just
Yeah,
bumming.
that's the reason I'm attracted to Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
because he's immortal.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait, what? Have you watched that Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare?
Not yet, but
that's
I
good.
do want to like.
It's just
I wanna see
you know what it is? It's just Inglorious Bastards. It's just a almost more actiony Inglorious Bastards.
Oh well, I'm down for it because
You know what I
I
mean?
like Guy Ritchie and I like
Yeah.
the cast, so I'm down.
Well,
I'm
I didn't
down.
realize there was I posted saying something to the effect of like, what's he called? The big guy who played Reacher, something Richardson.
Alan.
Alan Richardson, yeah. I was like, oh, Alan Richardson. I was like, oh, because he's killing Nazis in that film, and there's a scene where they essentially do, like a Fallout style outpost. There's like a scene where essentially they just go and fuck up an outpost, and
So
he's like, obviously,
Wolfenstein then.
and I'm just like, yeah. So it's just like,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, they should definitely make a Wolfenstein movie because they'd be the perfect cast. Then a few people replied to us and like tagged us in videos going like, no, he's a piece of shit. He's cancelled and stuff. So then
What's
I
he
googled
cancelled for?
and I think he's just like cancelled for like having Christian values, like like he just thinks like
Oh,
you should
what a
be married
scumbag.
and have a wife and stuff like that. And I'm
Yeah.
not religious, and I don't give a shit,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he's called out a lot of hypocrisy in Christianity. So he's just like, yes, I'm Christian, but he's just like, but there's too many pedos in the churches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he
So
himself
he's
is like,
a decent dude.
there's
then.
just like, he's like, it's the first time I've ever been on board with a Christian in my life. I'm just like,
Yeah.
but he's Christian. I typically hate Christian because of all the hypocrisy and shit like that. And he's just like, yeah, that's gross. People are using religious for like heinous things.
For heinous.
And then
things,
and they're trying to cancel him. I'm just like, if anything, I'm more endeared towards him.
yeah,
I'm
like
just
I like him more now. Now
Yeah.
you've said that, like, oh, he doesn't want a nonce kid. Sign me up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I'll be his mate.
But that's the problem I think with Christianity as well, is like they're so unwilling to admit problems But it's
Oh,
like
well, yeah,
undeniable
because
at this point. It's
their
like that big
religion's
thing in
the
America
best,
where
isn't
they
it?
always talk about drag queens. They're like, no, drag queens are trying to corrupt our kids. And it's like, what about the priests?
Yeah, like-
aren't you more likely to be touched by a priest than even
Yeah.
encounter a drag queen?
Well, that's it, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking
I
hell.
don't get the drag queen. It might be a UK thing, but it's like we grew up with like fucking Dame Edna Everage and Lily
Yeah,
Savage.
Lily
and,
Savage, yeah.
Like, it was just so accepted. I just don't understand.
Yeah, no, neither do I.
Little Britain and
Jesus
stuff was
Christ.
just like men dressed as women was their whole joke. That was like the whole
Yeah.
show was.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't
Like-
get it.
So I don't get that hate, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But apparently, well,
What is.
it's the Olympics, isn't it? And people were saying that there's fucking
The Devil Olympics or
it's the
some
Devil
shit.
Olympics and all that.
Yeah. I didn't even really pay attention. I was just like, yeah, I've enough of that. Like, just
I don't like sports.
so
I don't
what?
give a fuck.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
that's it. Like, dress like a Smurf, whatever. Just do live your own life. Just don't bother me with it.
It was the same. It was like a football thing, wasn't it? In the UK, we were in the finals or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like it's one of the things that it doesn't get taught about enough. But it was one of the things I actually hate about being a bloke, because obviously I'm a 6'1" tattooed big bloke, and people are just like, especially taxi drivers, like, oh, did you see the game? And I'm just like, I
Oh
like
yeah.
football. I like cartoons. Like,
Yeah, I get it.
I like
like
playing video
watch a match
games.
last night, mate. Like, no.
and then
I
it's
watch
like it
South
becomes
Park.
awkward. Like,
Yeah.
like you're the
He's
wrong
like,
end.
all right. Yeah, like, oh well,
Yeah.
I've got nothing to say to this guy.
It's like he's
sports is my
desperate to be like,
personality.
oh, well, you're gay, aren't you? Like,
Yeah, fucking you big bender. Just
I'm
where
a-
do you
oh, I'm
want to go? The
immortal?
Bender store. I'm a mortal man. No, I'm not gay. Anyway,
I watched Deadpool
Well-
1 and 2 last night because obviously I
All right.
haven't seen the new ones, but I was like, oh, I need to refresh that in my mind. They are ridiculous. Like, I love
oh
them.
yeah, the third's the best one. I think personally.
Yeah.
So good. It's just good to have a film that isn't littered with fucking wokeisms. Do you know what I mean? Like I get inclusion in movies. I do. I don't care about that shit. But you know what I mean? Like when what's that? The critical drinker when it's got the message in every movie. I'm just like ugh. So it was good to just see a fucking just an action movie that didn't have a message. It didn't
Yeah.
have anything other than jokes. A little
You've
bit of
seen
heart.
people are like, some people are like annoyed because obviously Robert Downey Jr. has just obviously been announced as Doctor Doom, and they're going
Yeah.
oh well, his death meant out, and they're saying Logan's death meant out because he's back in the Wolverine thing.
But it doesn't take away from that. If you, in that moment, you were like, oh, this is really sad, or like fucking whatever emotion you felt, it doesn't make that emotion any less now. Do you know what I mean?
It's that thing though. It's like someone was going, but that's what comics. That's just exactly comics. Welcome
Yeah.
to comics. And then someone's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's not happening in the movies before. And you're like, but the movies are based on the comics, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah, like just like I think Doctor Doom is going to be a Tony Stark variant, 100%. Because why wouldn't it be? Because when he takes the mask off and the Avengers are like Tony, and he's like, what?
Yeah, well,
he doesn't
who?
know who they are. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It'll have that emotional beat. So and again, like mild spoilers for Deadpool 3, like he's a variant of Wolverine's a variant.
Yeah.
It's not the Wolverine from Logan. He's still dead. They didn't bring him back. So like no.
Loads of people are going, oh, it's bullshit and all this, and like acting like it was the studio, but apparently it was like Hugh Jackman was like specifically the one who wanted to come back, sort of thing.
Well,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
he said in an interview, like, I retired when Deadpool, the day before Deadpool came out, I retired. He's like, and it was the worst mistake I ever made, like, retired Wolverine. And he's
Yeah.
like, so I need to come back. I need to find a way. And obviously it took them 2 movies to then go, oh, we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
But it was fucking amazing. Like, I want to see it again. I never see movies in the cinema more than twice, maybe. I would go 5 or 6 times to see this movie
Yeah.
because it's so fucking good. There's not a dull moment, and there's some amazing cameos. Like, not even cameos. Like, some people come into the movie and they're there for a good 20 minutes. And it's just class.
Yeah.
I
It
love
just
it.
hasn't been, there's not, like, it's so hard to get me to want to go to the movies anyway. There's just not much.
Yeah.
I went to see Long Legs. That's the first movie I've seen in like maybe over a year.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it, but that's another one. It's getting loads of hate for no reason.
Is it? I think people just love to hate because, like, everyone loved Spider-Man No Way Home, and then a week later they're like, "Oh, it's shit." Like, well, make up your fucking mind. Like, just settle down.
It's because if you've probably seen him now. Have you seen Long Legs? Like, actually seen what he looks like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've
so, like,
seen
obviously-
the makeup.
They didn't show that, and then when you see him, he doesn't look wildly scared. He looks a bit like Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? It's like someone whose face is a bit fucking mental, and he's pale and creepy looking. But it's just like people are like, oh, that's what's scary. And he's like, but Longlegs himself isn't like the whole point is that he's killing people, or and they don't know how he's doing it, sort of thing. It's not. Oh, he's got a scary face. Like that isn't the thing. It's just he's got a fucked up face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just a lot of people just not understanding it, you know what I mean? And then going like, well, I just don't get all the hype around it. And it's just like, I think the problem is that it's like the average horror goer wants loud jump in your face horror, and this is more of a slow burner. And it's definitely classed as horror, I would say, because it's supernatural. But,
All right, okay.
But it plays out more like a thriller, so like the majority of it's almost like Seven or Silence of the Lambs. Do you know what I mean?
So a good movie then, because those are great movies.
It is good, but it's just that thing of like people like, don't get us wrong, I'll happily own it. Like I'll definitely get it and like add it in my collection. But I think people expecting it to be like Seven, where like, you know, I could probably watch Seven once a month the rest of my life. Seven's that good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like I'll probably watch it once a year or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean it's
fair.
bad. It's just good. But it's like there's not many movies I want to watch once a month. You know what I mean? So like
The Batman, I watch that a lot.
yeah,
I just love that movie. It's 3 hours long, and I'm just like, I'll start it again.
Batman.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I know it's just come to Prime, hasn't it?
It has. I've got it on 4K.
Yeah, same.
Because
I'm
I'm a winner.
I loved it.
Yeah,
It's great.
same. I love it so much.
But yeah, on that note, you need to watch Dune. I know we talked about this about 8 podcasts ago, but get Dune in 4K right now.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
watch
give
it.
him a watch. Like
Probably on something.
I think it's on Netflix. I think they're both on, or Sky, one or the other. But I'm
Get on it,
Dune
you
with this
slut.
podcast because I have to go shopping. So, so I'm Dune right now.
Gan Dune whilst in there.
I'm gone Dune whilst. Oh god.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Oh well.
If there's a group of lads fighting outside Iceland, chin them, stop it, make them stop.
Oh yeah. Stop. Tell them to stop.
Tell them.
Tell them.
That's such
Like, what
a
am I
niche
supposed to do?
callback.
Get stabbed. I mean, me and you know about it. You know what I mean? Nobody else
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, but
I
we
mean-
are the only people who watch that podcast, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. Anyway, so I guess I'll say me thing. What is it again? Don't shoot kids unless they fuck your couch. Do you know what I mean?
Don't shoot kids unless they're having a fight outside Iceland.
I know. Jesus Christ.